There's a man right now. We just lost. I mean, obviously, we lost some of the biggest pieces defensively, Klotzy. There's a man out there that's about to become available, or there's an opportunity. There's a chance.
Yeah.
He currently, right now, at the age of 38 years old, he currently has 4 sacks for the team he's on. Last season, 6.5 sacks. The season before, 5.5 sacks. He has had double-digit sacks in his career. He's probably one of the best players, even you could say even at the age that he's at, that it's like, hey, this guy will dominate no matter what. We talked about it back in whatever it was. I think it was July or August before he even signed anywhere. Him coming to Detroit and kind of being a backup and kind of helping fill in some roles. If DJ Reader was down the first couple weeks, I remember we had that conversation. Calais Campbell, Klotzy. There are rumors that the man might be available. And it came around that during the trade deadline, there were conversations about him being traded. And he told the Dolphins, and here, I'll pull up this video too, but he told the Miami Dolphins, he said, hey, I want to stick with you guys because we're on a playoff run right now. We're going through this. I want to stick with you guys while I can. And he did them good, so they're doing him good to where there's an opportunity where he ends up getting waived or he gets cut or he gets released, and then he's going to be able to go, with a contender at 38 years old. He still is an impactful player, especially with the injury that we just had. So here's Campbell. When was this video recorded? Jeff sent me this video.
It was either today or the day before.
Okay, it looks like this was December 18th. So this was today. This is Calais Campbell. Is it Calais or Calais? It's Calais. Calais Campbell. But here, I'll play this for you guys, and this is some of his comments over the last few days.
I don't know if we're there just yet, but it's definitely something you think about. So.
You had a chance to maybe go to a contender at the trade deadline. Would you ever operate with any regrets toward maybe not going?
Oh, I never live in regrets. Never live in regrets. I mean, there's no wrong decision. You just make a decision. You rock with it. And in this business, they rarely even involve the player in any decisions, right? I'm just show up and be a professional and try to be the best player I can be to help my team win. And I came here to the Dolphins, with a year-long commitment to go out here and compete and try to make the playoffs. That job's technically not done yet. We still have a shot. So, I'm committed.
Do you have any sense?
All right, Klotz.
Clear the air too as well, Boone.
Yeah, and by the way, Xavier D and all these people, first of all, you guys need to learn how to be like normal people to talk to humans. Like, I did not say he's completely waived. I said they were either waive, cut, or release him. So it's either one. So hey, before you start throwing shots at people, take a look in the mirror. Hey, talk normal to people first of all. But it depend. It's gonna depend. Like if they cut him, I think they're like I don't know how the money's gonna work. It's just gonna depend on Miami. And I'm interested in Klotz. I mean, you may know a little bit more if a player gets waived, like if he could refuse to play for a team if they pick him up. Like I'm sure it's easy, but like first of all, the fact that they would like let him go to a contender. If they were letting him go to a contender and they knew someone in the waiver wire that's a bad football team would pick him up, they're not going to go about it that way. They're going to turn and they're going to say, hey, we're going to cut you and we're going to save money, or hey, we'll take some of this money on and we'll cut you or we'll release you. Like we'll do it to where if the reason behind them doing it has nothing to do with really their money. It might a little bit, but it seems like at least the reports are that they want to do good by him because he's 38 years old. He's at the point of his career where he can help a contender. He wants to go get a Super Bowl. So it's a little bit more like, hey, like they want to do good by him. So if they're able to let him go, listen, Klotz, if this happens and he ends up getting cut, released, whatever it is, and the Lions have an opportunity, like we put down the defense yesterday from last year's defense in the playoffs, Klotz, side by side. Adding a Calais Campbell to that mix with DJ Reader, Zadarius Smith, Levi O, Josh Pascal, like that changes. Obviously to where Aleem, it puts you in a way different position than you were yesterday if you have him on your team today. Way different position, especially down a playoff stretch.
Yeah, I mean, Calais Campbell, and if you get claimed by a team, unfortunately, there's nothing you can do unless they finally meet to negotiate because it's going under the same contract, and they're like, hey, this isn't going to work out. So I'd hate to say it, but it's probably very unlikely that he does fall in the hands of the Detroit Lions. But if he were to, I don't think he'd provide much here as an edge presence, but where it'd help out the most, that's a guy where you can say, hey, you have the ability to rush the passer. You're a little bit older. You're not the defensive end that you once were. Get in there for Aleem McNeil next to DJ Reader. I think that's where he could cause some havoc because in the playoffs, again, he's been a very, very, very good NFL player, arguably a Hall of Fame caliber type of player. I don't think he'll get in Canton, but if you watch him throughout his career and what he's done during it, he definitely has the case that he could be. But he has 0 sacks in his playoff career. But if you look at what he's done against the run, allowing other guys to get after the quarterback, the man's 6'7". He's the biggest player in the NFL. He's going to command some attention. If there's anything that the Detroit Lions could use right now, it's reinforcement in the defensive line, especially with Aleem McNeil being out now too. You got to be able to stop the run because I think with no Aleem, obviously he's good at getting the passer, but he's very underrated against the run. And with no Hutch, no Aleem, you're going to see these teams have more success against the run. Calais Campbell is a monster on the defensive line. It takes at least 2 guys to move him. He commands a double team just by his size. And if you put him next to a guy like DJ Reader, who also just commands a double team, that can free up Zadarius Smith. That can free up AQM. Trevor Nowaski can make the blitzing lanes for Jack Campbell. Ify Melifonwu, a little bit bigger. So I think Calais Campbell, he's a vet. He knows what it's all about. The problem is I just do not think the Detroit Lions will be able to actually land him. I could see a team like the Rams bringing him in. You know how they love those late season acquisitions, the Von Millers, et cetera, that they bring in to make those Super Bowl runs. I think teams like that, even the Vikings, unfortunately, he'll be picked up before the Lions. But if he somehow falls there and teams let him slide, that's somebody that Brad Holmes, the Detroit Lions, they need to make sure that he gets into Detroit and he is not leaving for the rest of the regular season and postseason.
Yeah, I mean, I would just be interested to see how they can go about if it has to be a waive situation. That's where I would be interested in. Or if they could just say, hey, we're gonna cut you and take on the money.
I'm imagining the Browns aren't going to claim Zadarius Smith or Calais Campbell at this point. There's gonna be playoff teams, but I
can't see a world to where it's like, hey, Calais, hey, dude, hey, we're gonna give you an opportunity to go play somewhere where you can win, and you're gonna be able to pick where you want to go. We want to give you the opportunity to be on a contender. Oh, we're gonna waive you though, and then the 10th worst team in the NFL is gonna pick him up for the end of the season. And you're like, wait, what? Or he's gonna have no choice. He's just gonna land wherever he lands.
Hey, what's going on there? It's Jeff Iafrate. Appreciate you for finishing the video. You can check out one of the videos here suggested or show support by commenting, liking, and subscribing. And buy your merchandise, officialctsports.com.